Ta-Nehisi Coates, our winner tonight, is the name of both a blog and a writer. The name Ta-Nehisi, which everyone is always curious about, derives from the Egyptian name for the Nubia region of the Nile. It was bestowed on him by his father, W. Paul Coates, a veteran of both the Vietnam War and the Black Panther Party. Quite a combination. He went on to found the Black Classic Press, a small but successful publisher of books both Afrocentric and of other interests. Ta-Nehisi Coates grew up in inner city Baltimore, went to Howard University, and then became a writer. He is the author of a wonderful memoir, The Beautiful Struggle, a father, two sons, and an unlikely road to manhood. He is also the conductor and writer of The Winner, his blog of the same name, which is part of the Atlantic's website. To the uninitiated, a footnote point, I am told that conductor and writer is the proper terminology to describe what bloggers do. Because I am a securities litigator who lives and dies by full disclosure, and the name of full disclosure, I have to say that Ta-Nehisi Coates also received previously an award earlier in the year from what is in some circles a better well-known, but a certainly stodgier, and a lot less cool award than the Hillmans. Time magazine said it was one of the best 25 blogs of this year. Ta-Nehisi Coates, the blog, has attracted a passionately loyal audience. Sample it and you can't go back. It is marked by an inimitable combination of sympathetic imagination, keen intelligence, and a profound sense of justice. He insists on understanding the viewpoints of people who he disagrees with, people who are very different from himself. The result is trenchant, poignant, and powerful. He is incurably curious. He takes his readers on flights of fancy and intellectual journeys, riffs on Jacques Bruegel, among others. As readers of his blog know, he's working now on a book about the Civil War, and as he does his research, he shares his discoveries with us, and he invites his readers to mull them over with him. You never know who you're going to meet next. Could be de Tocqueville, Twain, or John C. Calhoun. The comment section of his blog has become something of an institution in and of itself. Mr. Coates is becoming, in short, what many people thought would never exist, a true man of the letters in the blogosphere. And with that, please join me in congratulating Ta-Nehisi Coates for the 2012 Hillman Prize for Opinion and Analysis Journalism. Please come forward.
That was such a great introduction. I would have settled, though, at the beginning when my name was pronounced right. That was actually a remarkable achievement and some etymology on top of that, so you can't beat that. My dad was supposed to be here tonight. It didn't quite work out that he could be here. My presence here is directly traced back to his childhood, born deep into poverty in North Philadelphia. My father had a very hard young life, raised by his father until he was age 9, who was abusive, who was all over the place. He lived out of a truck for a little while, came home when he was 6 years old and saw all of his possessions out on the street. Throughout it all, though, my dad was a really, really aggressive reader and a hardcore consumer of information. In days before there was an internet, I think about it now and I can just type in something to figure something out. My dad used to cut school and spend whole days at the public library just consuming information. He went off to the Vietnam War as a young man because that was the way young men at that time saw the world. When he got out into the war, as so much and so often happens throughout history, he was radicalized. Read the autobiography of Malcolm X, read James Baldwin, came out of the war a totally different person and went into the Black Panther Party. But what was revealed to him in the Black Panther Party that, in fact, if you really, really wanted to be radical, you did not engage in guns, you engaged in words. He left the Black Panther Party, became a publisher, independent publisher in West Baltimore. I was born into that business, and from the time I was 6 years old, I worked for my dad for way below minimum wage, as I was very fond of reminding him. Sometimes $1 an hour, the most tedious work you could imagine in that publishing house. But what I was being schooled on is something that came back to me as I was watching the video in the introduction, that writing is a kind of war, that writing is about fighting. And my dad was able to understand that very early on and impart that to me, so that when I went off to Howard University as a young man, around 1995, the Bell Curve was published, and it was in the New Republic. And I think a lot of people here know what the Bell Curve was, this notion that African Americans are not as intelligent as the rest of the population. And I saw that, and I said, you know what? I'm going to war. This is what I want to do. I'm going off to war. And so here I am, I can't do math too well. What are we about? Almost 20 years later, not quite 20 years later, here getting this award. And what I'm forced to say is that it isn't my award, that it really is my dad's award, and it really is the award of the tradition that he stands in, going back to Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X, people who recognize that the true war was in writing, and that the true war was in reading. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to receive that.